Active Investor here, bringing you another independent analysis. This time we're taking a look at ticker symbol TWER. That's Towerstream Corporation. The chart we're looking at today is a 30-minute chart. Each candlestick on this chart representing 30 minutes of trading. And this is a request from ABC123, easy for me. Pretty cool name, gotta say. Alright, so let's get right to the chart now. This is a pretty interesting stock you picked, my friend. I gotta say, for a micro cap stock, this thing actually has really good volume. And it has a really tight float, which in general, a float that's so high and so tight is not going to be good for day trading. However, it is kind of reminding me of an AMD type float. Really tight, really high volume. So it is actually really good for scalping. It's not really going to be volatile. So if you're looking for something that's like a volatile day trading stock, it's not exactly the best, but it is really good for the kind of stock that reads well at technical analysis due to the high volume it has. And since it has a high float, you can pretty much expect it to kind of not swing too heavily. So you can catch it on some steady swings, you know, for some nice scalps. And it does remind me of an AMD-esque stock. Not fundamentally, of course, but on a technical level, it is kind of reminding me of AMD. You see it with these clearly defined channels, and it really isn't all too volatile. Except over here, we had something crazy going on. I'm not sure what that was all about. I'm not looking into the fundamentals at all. Maybe you can leave me a comment or something if you know what caused this run here. And then I guess it just couldn't hold those levels, so it fell off. But in general, yeah, it does tend to kind of channel, and it's pretty good for scalping. So interesting pick there. And anyways, let's get to the technicals. We have some pivot points here: 22 cents, 18 cents, 15 cents, 14 cents, and 11.96. And yes, 11.96, not 12 cents. 11.96 is actually the bottom support on this stock based off data from a long time ago. And the support at 14 cents, you'll notice this is a choppy looking line because the support is actually soft support. So 15 cents is really the key area that we want to hold. And unfortunately, after hours, it looks like that's where we fell down to about 14.8. But at least it was after hours. You know, if we fell down during the trading period and we didn't get back up after hours, then maybe it'd be looking bad. But we did hold 15 cents during the trading period. And what's cool is you'll see right here on the last trading day, this was Friday, we had this candle stretching from about 14 cents going all the way down to 11.1. So if you look at it, it's actually a really bullish candle. That's what I call a pin bar candle. It closes all the way at the top. Very small candle, very long wick. And that means that the open was down here and there was some massive pressure bringing, you know, the sellers all the way down here. But all along the way, people were buying this thing. The bids were getting filled, the orders were getting filled, and though it ended up, you know, touching 11, it did close above 14. So it's actually a really bullish candle. And then after that, you'll see it did dip a little bit more, but it made some higher lows and then some higher lows. And it actually did push back above that 14 soft support, and it actually did push above 15 as well, 15 cents, but it closed. It looks like it actually did break 15 cents there a little bit, and then it pushed back up right here. But then after hours, we had that little trading block there. And actually, after hours, let's see, after hours would be right about here. So I think that actually occurred after hours as well. So the close, yeah, the close was not bad. Let me just double check that real quick. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go down onto the 1 minute chart on my other screen and see where did we close at. So yeah, it did close really nicely. It closed at 15.55 during the trading period on Friday. After hours is where it closed all the way down at 14.6. And remember, these are 30-minute candles, so I'm looking on my other screen at the 1 minute chart. And yeah, it does look really good on the 1 minute chart. The candle that it closed at 15.55 right before the end of the day, massive volume on that thing compared to the rest of the day. 146,000 on that. The rest of the day, it was kind of sticking around like 300 to 1,000. A few times it got to about 5,000, 10,000 volume, but that last candle, 146,000 volume, indicating that a lot of people wanted to buy it right before the close. So it had a pretty strong close actually, and then after hours there was that trading block at 14.6, and that was only for 4,000 shares. So really, you know, I do think it could bounce back up. I think there's a pretty high chance it could bounce back above 15 cents, and yeah, if it does get back above 15 cents, the chart's going to be looking pretty good. For support, you know, you'll have some really good support at 15 cents and then some soft support at 14 cents. But if 14 cents doesn't hold, the bottom is 11.96, and we don't really want to test that. So 15 cents really needs to hold, but it looks like we're going to get back up there. The only thing that are not so good are the averages. So you'll see like when they're all converged here, that's when we're kind of just channeling. So we've been channeling, and then we had that drop and they kind of diverged a little bit, but then came back up and channeled, and they are now converging once again. Now, if you look over here, when they're diverged greatly, that's when we can see the volatility, of course. And then on the other hand, we want them to be in this order: purple, green, yellow. And once it's yellow, green, purple, that's bearish. And currently, that is still the order we're in. But, you know, that's not everything. The averages are not looking great, but the price action itself looked really good on that close. And RSI isn't looking too bad either. We are oversold, and when we're oversold, like you saw over here, let me highlight this area. Let's see. One moment. That's not what I want. Well, there we go. Okay. You'll see here, when we were oversold, that's when we had that selling off going from about 35 cents all the way down to about 20 cents. And that took both the red and green, both fast and slow averages, to be oversold. Over here, we just have the fast average oversold. The slow average is literally on the 20 line, which means it could bounce up before going oversold entirely, like we saw over here. You know, the fast average went oversold, but the red slow average didn't quite go oversold, and that's where we had this nice little bounce on that green candle. We did touch about 15 cents or so, bounced right back up to about almost 20 cents. So that's what we could see here. We could see it reverse pretty quick. As long as that red average stays above, we can see it kind of bounce off, and this will work back up to break above the 20 line as well. So that's really all I got to say about TWER. Interesting stock, interesting pick. I've never actually seen this one before, so I appreciate you putting that on my radar. It was a good suggestion, and I hope this analysis helped you out at least a little bit. All right, and anyone else watching, hope you enjoyed rather this video, and we'll catch you in the next analysis. Have a good one.